his closing remarks on this topic. So, Balaji, you have heard of, you have read the paper, you have gone over it. You've also heard the inputs, that wonderful inputs that we have received from school leaders across the country. So, what are your thoughts on that? How can schools do this?
I think everybody has detailed in their own perspective. So I'm not really going to comment on what they have said, but I'm just going to add on two thoughts which have been haunting my mind for the last 1 week. An incident which happened in one of the schools where a senior teacher found that her son was getting a second rank, and therefore the student was getting first rank, doesn't perform well in the annual day, and therefore she offered a drink to that boy, stating that it has come from home and that was mixed with the poison, and that child died. And that's in the newspaper. This is a very senior teacher of a school, just because of the what you call over affection of to the child. The second incident, to which I was almost a practical witness, was a parent of UKG who walked into the KG department with a request to the teacher that he wants to meet a child of the same class where his son is studying. And on asked why you want to meet him, he said, for the last 10 photographs, that boy has been standing ahead of my son, hiding him. And therefore, I would like to tell him that if the teachers don't advise, at least you should give way back to my son. This is the context in which we are running the school. That leads me to rethink on the question with Colonel Rajesh started, saying that what are we running the schools for? What are our responsibilities? How far do we go, right? And we are dealing with socio-emotional learning, where the two terms have what, they are very complicated. When you talk of emotions, you are hundreds, several hormones are impacting the emotions, and that vary from child to child, from parent to parent. That's one dimension. The second dimension is a socio factor, where the social dynamics has become highly complex, because what we thought of education in maybe about 50 years back or 100 years back, and what we talk of education right now is entirely different, and the social context is different. If you look back at the Indian system, which has been reinforced later by the Dallas report, the focus of education was to produce a child who was a Sthita Prajna. That what we means, one who really is based on his consciousness. In other words, a self-aware child. And for the schools, they had a lot of freedom to operate, to facilitate the child to think, reflect, and grow. And today, that's not the situation, because every parent comes back to say what marks my child has obtained in the exam, and would like the teacher to be held responsible even for a midterm test. That's a context in which you are having. When you go back, come to the modern term, when you talk about Dallas report, the two factors, when we talk the 4 pillars of learning, learning to know, learning to do, the 3 and 4 are more important. The learning to get together and learning to be, which I think have been the fundamental parts of this one. So the question basically is, the objective of education in schools has been lost, right? We are all, becoming truly moving towards certification and branding of the schools from the from the child side, competitive, branding, right? And other factor which I'm really concerned is that as a society, we are getting into emotional consumerism, right? We talk of material consumerism, we talk of other types of consumerism. Today, in the last decade plus, with the media and other impacts coming through, right? You are now entering into emotional consumerism. Therefore, consumption of emotions is really causing a prematurity, and the schools are really going to have a very tough time in the days to come. And that has, this effort to train the teachers is absolutely not enough. You cannot hold the teacher responsible for each and everything that happens in the classroom. Therefore, I think what needs is that social debates have got to be created. You got Sagodiyas all across the country over there. Instead of having simple programs, the Sagodiyas should address on topics of this kind, and where parents should also be involved. And I think parental education with a different perspective has to be done. To conclude, I'll give only one statement and go. Years back, I was addressing a group of parents in one of the schools in Faridabad. Nearly about 400 parents were there. Walking along side with them, I asked a lady that please close your eyes and tell me what was the last occasion when you smiled on your child. You wouldn't believe, she almost started crying. She said, I don't remember. And that's a kind of family system. That's a kind of society that we are living into. I think it's not mere teachers' education, but parental education and putting them together. Social education has to be the answer. Otherwise, we are going to have very tough times ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That's a wonderful perspective, and I think it encompasses almost everything that we have been discussing.